Okay, great. Yeah, thank you, Jake. Thank you, fellow panelists. And my name is Wally Bowen. I am a founder and executive director of the Mountain Area Information Network in Asheville, North Carolina. We are a nonprofit, and we got started in 1995, and we come at the quest for a sustainable business model for journalism in a different direction. We're trying to build out the infrastructure first with the production of local journalism content as kind of the capstone of that effort. And so we got started in '95 when many of the counties in our mountain region, far western end of North Carolina, had to call long distance to get on the internet. We got a grant from the U.S. Department of Commerce, NTIA, National Telecommunications Information Administration, to put servers in each of those counties, in the public libraries, the first public access for in our libraries in the region. And we woke up and we were an ISP, a nonprofit ISP. We had revenue, and we've been doing that since 1995. Jake asked to kind of give you a sense of scale. This 14-county region is slightly less than the size of the state of Vermont. So that's where we operate. So we were a dial-up ISP, an alternative to AOL or CompuServe or Bell South or Earthlink, you name them. Since 1995. In 1990, my background's journalism. I am not a technologist. I got into this because I saw infrastructure as being the key to really providing the kind of alternative media that we need for our democracy. I'm all for reforming the big carriers and keeping the big carriers well regulated, but we've got to have our own infrastructure, and so that's been our quest all these years. So in 1999, we really started to focus on some content to go with our providing internet access, and so we built our community news portal. We were producing really very little content. We were basically a news aggregator, but we, when the Forest Service or the Smoky Mountains put webcams up, we of course put those on our homepage, and just any kind of relevant local content, ozone report, and the pollen. Pollen's a big deal for folks in our mountain region, particularly this time of year. We grabbed that local content and aggregated it on our homepage, and gradually built an audience that's second only to the Asheville Citizen-Times, the only daily, major daily in the region, which is owned by Gannett. And then in 2003, we launched a radio station, our own low-power FM radio station, WPVM, the progressive voice of the mountains. And then also in 2003, it was a busy year, we became a broadband wireless provider, but only in 4 of the 14 counties. And to this day, we still only operate our broadband wireless in four counties. We also led the effort in those years to create the first public access TV channel in the entire mountain region. In fact, to this day, it's still the only public access TV channel west of Charlotte. I also served on the North Carolina Rural Internet Access Authority during the 3 years of its existence. It's now called the ENC Authority, and it's has not just focused on rural, but focused on the entire state. And during that time, we were able to envision and also get some funding for our own nonprofit fiber networks in the mountain region. These are separate nonprofits, our sister nonprofits, that have greatly reduced our bandwidth cost. When we got started in 1996, a T1 line was about $2,500 a month from Bell South or Verizon. Now we pay about $200 a month per megabit because we have this nonprofit fiber networks. ERC Broadband was the first one. It's based in Asheville, which is where all the major switching equipment is for the entire region. Also with the Rural Internet Access Authority, we were able to get some funding down to a couple of the southern mountain counties, Polk and Rutherford, to allow them to start their own nonprofit fiber network, which is called Pangea. And then we were able to get some money to the local electric co-op for the mountain counties north of Asheville French Broad Electric, and they became they're now a fiber provider for those 3 mountain counties just north of Asheville. So our sustainable journalism principle is basically to give citizens and local businesses the option of spending their internet dollars to support community journalism. And this shows how it all works. It's a lot of moving parts, as folks have pointed out from time to time. But in 1999, as I mentioned, we started this web portal and started building an audience around that web portal. Of course, we're the last mile ISP, and then we were able to get this middle mile nonprofit, just over 500 miles of nonprofit fiber, mostly on poles. The LPFM came online, as I said, 2003, PEG TV 2006, and podcasts. And so the idea, and this is a really important concept, is that we're not only delivering content over these multiple platforms, but we're building audience. So audience aggregation is just really critical to our sustainable business model. We also are using a mesh wireless technology to supplement our wireless broadband service in the Asheville area, which we have some pretty densely populated neighborhoods, particularly the lower income neighborhoods. And our goal is to put, neighborhood, in fact we're close to having one in the next few weeks, neighborhood media production centers. And in fact, we got some computers donated from the local hospital. We donated them to Burton Street Community Center, which is primarily African American Latino neighborhood in West Asheville. They now have renovated their space. I just heard this afternoon that they have connected the computers, and so we're going to bring the high-speed connection to this. And the goal is to get the tools and training eventually. We need to get the grant money to do that at this stage, so they can start producing some content, and then we can deliver it over our network. So I think that's probably all I need to say about that. And I'm going to move